Welcome, everybody. This is Mike Leahy with Leahy Consulting. Thanks for joining us today on our Pulse Amazon integration webinar. And what we're going to talk about today is we've taken two of our products, our Pulse e-commerce and our Pulse lockbox, and we've adapted them for integrating with Amazon.com. So this is just a short slide here. This is Mike Leahy talking. This is my picture in the upper right corner. We can all shake hands over the phone. In the lower picture, some of you may have talked to Terry Lanham. He's seated in the light blue shirt with the little goatee. And Ben Kirk, who some of you may know, is standing. He has his winter beard on, and he's standing next to the monitor. Donna Lansing is in the front. Adriano is there, we have a lot of experience with Macola. We have a lot of experience in business. We specialize in manufacturing and distribution. But what brings us together today is that we develop add-on software for your Macola database that improves your productivity. And some people say, well, what does Pulse do for my company? Well, the big thing is it eliminates manual keying. It totally eliminates manual keying of customer orders and of cash receipts. And errors are identified. We don't just dump the software, dump the orders into Macola. Our customers prefer to be able to see them on the screen, and you'll see that. And errors are identified immediately, and then we allow you to correct them before we're updating Macola. In terms of Amazon, we handle both FBA orders filled by Amazon orders and FBM orders fulfilled by your company, fulfilled by merchant. And we process all of the customer payments and the fees, and we'll show you how that works in a moment. This is a testimonial from Teddy Dunn. He's the president of one of our customers, Done Right, in Central Indiana. And what he talks about here is their story, their journey of getting started with Amazon. They thought it was great, except that when it came to fulfilling 5,000 orders a month, it was torturous. So he's explaining here in number 2, this is where we came in and we became a key to his success. And he had to find a way to quickly scale the orders and get everything working. It's a really small company. You might want to visit their website later, and they make products for pools. So it's a very seasonal business. So he's explaining here what he does. And then this is his testimonial on the power of Amazon, that Amazon has made it possible for them to jump in beginning selling directly to customers and so on. And the idea is that they increase their margins and so on. So that's a nice little testimonial there. So let's take a look. Some of you may have a copy of this chart. This is a PDF chart that we developed that explains in detail how our product works. And you can see on the left side is an overview of the Pulse for Amazon integration. So it talks about processing FBA orders and processing FBM orders. And basically you're logging into Amazon, you're downloading the file, our software displays each order, and you'll see that in a moment. For FBM orders, it's similar, but it's a little bit, with your company, it handles it differently. But the point being that we handle both FBA and FBM orders. On the payment side, on the payments and the fee side, we also handle that through our Pulse lockbox software. And the lockbox software we developed about 10 years ago, just for handling bank transactions, trade cash receipts. And we developed our Pulse e-commerce about the same thing, maybe 11 years ago, to import customer orders. So we've adapted that, and we now have an expertise in Amazon integration, and it has allowed us to bring your site up very, very fast. So let's take a look at how the software works. I'm going to go to e-commerce here. First thing I'm going to do is I'll clear the screen away that I had in my earlier testing. So you start the software up, you say import orders, and you previously have pointed this to a folder which contains, in this case, you can see there's about 10 orders. And I'll do that again. I'll show you what the speed of this. So it's bringing in, when you'll see this, you can watch this a little closer. It brought in 113 line items in about 10 orders, and it took about 5 seconds. No, it took about 2 seconds. And you can click on each of these orders and see all of the details, and you can make any changes that were necessary. But I purposely included this one order that is in error. And if I hover over it, it says that there's no inventory. Something's wrong with the inventory location. So if I click on here, you can see that when I hover over here, it says that there's no inventory at that location. So what do I do to fix this? Well, I just simply click on this field and it says, well, this is really located in the Akron, Ohio warehouse. This one is the same. This one is the same. Now let's look down here. This is real common. The part number that's in Amazon doesn't match the part number that's in Macola. And I'll show you how that is here. I'm just going to click on here. And you can see that it was supposed to be BUS, and on Amazon it was BUSS, a common thing that happens. So you just simply click here and you fix that. And down here, well, there's no quantity on this order. So probably what we want to do is we'll just put you can research this, but just for discussion purposes, we're just going to put a 1 in there. So at this point, the order is clean, but I do want to show you that all of the fields that are on here can be modified. The payment terms is open. The salesperson can be changed. All of these, I can click on the item number and I can change the item numbers if I wanted to, or I could delete, or I could add. I can view the header comments if there were comments that were coming in. So this looks like just a cleaner version of the order entry screen. All of these fields are movable. I can rearrange things however I want to. I can sort however I want to. But the point being that you're in control, and this allows you to look at the order. Now, when everything is finished and everything is white, then I just simply go up here and say push orders into Macola. And then maybe a couple hours later, you'll have another batch from Amazon, and so on and so on. Some people say, well, what happens if I can't fix this order? Well, I can go ahead and process the orders that are good, and then this remaining order that we looked at earlier, it will stay on the screen the next time we import. Okay, so this is the e-commerce software. Again, I'll just go through this real fast. I'll clear the screen. I'm going to import the orders. Looks like that took maybe a second and a half. It brought in and validated 113 line items. This is the order we looked at a minute ago that we fixed. And it's just a matter of clicking on here, and I can go ahead and fix everything. Okay, so this is Pulse e-commerce, and this is the Amazon order side. So let's take a look now at the payment side. And on the payment side, it works in a similar fashion. And what we've been able to do here is to provide a totally seamless integration into Macola. This works for all versions. All of our software works for all versions of Macola. That would be Macola Progression, Macola ES, and Macola 10. And what I'm doing up here is I'm just clicking on and importing the file. Here I have a little bit more flexibility. I can select the file that I want, but again, I have a folder that contains all of my payment files. So I just say open. And again, the white ones are coming in clean, and I purposely have created errors in here just to show you what this looks like. So let's take a look at a clean one first. I'm going to press the plus sign, and you can see it's just paying for one invoice. It's the same thing here. But again, here's a situation where I have an error. The invoice is incorrect, so I have the ability to look it up and fix it. Down below here, I'll hit the plus sign here, the same thing. This is it says invoice number 11. You can see there's something wrong here because there is no 1117. They're all 3 digits, so something didn't go quite right. But the point is that you would fix each one of these. If there was anything that needed to be changed, you could change it. And then when you're done, you just say update Macola. In this case, I'm using a Macola ES database. If you happen to be using this for other purposes outside of Amazon, if you're going to use this for your trade receivables, we have tremendous flexibility in here. You can take a check and split it. Let's say that you have customers in 2 divisions of a corporate, say a Fortune 500 company, and you're getting one check that covers 2 invoices from totally different customer numbers. You can delete a check. You can actually import. You can actually key in checks manually, remove things. You have just a tremendous amount of flexibility, and it's constantly telling you if there are any errors. This is where everything is showing. So again, this is. Let me go back to our PowerPoint and kind of review here. We talked about importing either FBA orders or FBM orders, and they are quite different. In one case, you own the inventory. In the FBM orders, you own the inventory. Here, Amazon owns the inventory, so the replenishment and the billing is handled differently. And then on the other side, one thing I didn't mention before is that you need to think about how do you want to handle the Amazon fees. For any particular shipment, you can have up to, I think you can have 14 different, or maybe it's 29 different fees. And it could be everything from a wrapping charge to their fee, some kind of handling fee, and so on. So we are in the process of, we handle right now one deduction area. And we're planning to modify our software to, in effect, create journal entries, general ledger journal entries that will handle all of the discounts, all of the fees. So this has been a quick demo. Anne, you're watching the chat and the questions. Are there any questions that have come up from anyone in the audience?
Yeah, Mike, there are. Can this work with different versions of Macola?
Yes, it can work with Macola Progression, it can work with Macola ES, and it can work with Macola 10.
Okay. Do people use this kind of integration if they're working, say, with Wayfair or some other large, internet selling system other than Amazon?
Yes, we've come up with our own little logo here to say Pulse for Amazon, but yes, this has its roots in any kind of Wayfair, Yahoo, anybody who might be shipping you a text file that has orders. We have a customer that works with luggage, and they'll get an order from a customer that'll have 500 line items on it. So we have tons of experience in non-Amazon areas, and we're taking our proven products for importing orders and our proven product for importing cash receipts. So you can handle this and another question that comes up occasionally is, well, how does the licensing work? Is it per user? Is it per company? Is it per database? And the way the licensing works, it's just per your company. So we encourage you to have multiple users handling this. So for example, if Bill or Mary, who handles cash receipts, goes on vacation and locks their computer, you want to be able to have multiple people and be able to have a backup. Any other questions, Anne?
Let me see. What do we have here from folks? I think those were the primary ones.
Okay.
Who can they talk to if they would like to see this actually in action, or could they? I'm just wondering about if someone is already doing this and could they send something to Leahy to help make this like a proof of concept is what I'm trying to ask.
Yes. What you can do is if you're interfacing with Wayfair or you get a text file or you have your own website, just please send us the text file. Send us a copy of your import file, and we'll tell you if it needs to be rearranged, if it's handling things properly. If you are using Amazon already, just send us a file layout. Believe it or not, there are multiple file layouts for Amazon, and we will run that through our test system. And Scott Geiler will tell you if there's any work. Or we had a case recently where I think Scott installed the software. Maybe that took an hour, and then the customer had some live files, and Scott, in a test mode, imported them. So in other words, in a matter of 2 or 3 hours, they were importing orders from Amazon successfully in a live fashion. But this screen.
There's
right,
one more question, Mike.
Yeah.
What about if people are getting orders via email?
Well, email is a little bit of a challenge. Hopefully, your customer is able to send you a text file attached to that email, and that definitely works. So it needs to be in some kind of a structured format, even if it just was coming in Excel, and then you saved it as a text file, as a CSV file. That would work. But the phone number that we have on here, this is Terry Lanham's phone number. Area code 513-723-8091. That goes directly to his desk. And if there are questions that are technical and maybe he's not sure of the answer, he can double check with the rest of our staff. And this is the address for our Pulse website. You can go there and look at any of our Pulse products, including the Amazon integration. Well, if there are no more questions, we'll thank everybody for joining today, and we appreciate, for those of you who we already do business with, we appreciate your ongoing support of our software, and for others, we look forward to working with you. So everybody have a great rest of the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.